so begins our overnight journey here at the Magic Kingdom. It's just after 10 o'clock. This is actually our first ride, because everything else has been closed so far because of weather problems. These people behind me, I don't know them. First we have to get Starbucks. Yeah, we did it. Pushed through the tiredness. I don't usually do something overnight like this, but it was worth it. I'm looking forward to next year's. But that's after a whole lot of sleep.
Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPs.
And I'm Johnny 5.
And I'm Haley.
And why are you Johnny 5 tonight?
Because we just celebrated the kickoff of the 5 dozen anniversary of Disneyland.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, we did, and we kicked it off in Florida.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. So that was
a
Mikey
video
Really
made by Mikey Really Likey. We appreciated it, and we really liked it.
I have now seen his face.
I know. How? Like he's
like
not
the
just
Wilson.
Mikey Really Likey anymore.
Yeah.
And now he has the video that opened the show, and he said so cool to see one of the vids opening the show, or see one of my vids opening the show. Well,
Nice.
Thank you very much,
Did you ask
Mikey.
his permission before you did that? Or?
We had an
Just a
arrangement.
complete surprise.
I somewhat surprised him, but remember last week I asked him to do a video, so he knew we were going to use something with it. But I didn't tell him how we were going to use it. So thank you, Mikey.
Blend?
No, we're not going to blend his video. If you would like to join in the conversation as you watch the show, hashtag Geeks Corner on Twitter. It's the only thing we pay attention to, so it's true.
Not each other, not the script,
No.
just the Twitter.
When do we stay to the
We
script?
really don't have a script tonight.
Every Wednesday I go back and I'm like, this is not the order we were. Yeah, the blog is never exactly what we thought we were going to start out with. But
This is not my beautiful order.
that just went woo. So how was everybody's weekend? Is everybody surviving?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody's recovered. I think the big story of the week, that's all we really need to talk about, is Disneyland Turn 60, which means that you celebrate with 24 hours or more at Disneyland. What time did you get there, Johnny?
10 p.m.
10 p.m.
That's my standard. Get there
I
at
was
10.
leaving at 10:30. You got there at 10. We had
You should've said
literally.
hi. I was right there.
I went out the wrong way.
Oh.
So we had pretty much live coverage from Disneyland from like 9 or something in the morning on Thursday morning till 6:30 a.m. on Saturday.
Why do we do that?
I don't know.
We should just do live coverage from the park.
I'll have somebody in some park live tweeting
It's
all the
3
time.
a.m. and they're currently mad at me for being in the parking lot. But
Jason is awesome said 5 doesn't quote end the show. See you around the corner. So great. He liked it. Jason is awesome, who we got to hang out with during the 24-hour
I've
day.
seen his face.
We know who he is now too. It was really cool. We got to meet a lot of people. It was a lot of fun. What? I missed.
We're on the same wavelength.
What are we doing this for?
Oh, fun.
Now we know who you are.
Oh, yes. Now we can find you. So our coverage actually started Wednesday night with the grand world premiere. Well, continuous. We had a break Wednesday night.
Oh, okay.
We saw the world premiere of World of Color. Thursday night was premiere of Paint the Night, followed by Disneyland Forever, where we passed it off to Johnny and Amanda, who did a fantastic job with the overnight hours with your Instagram coverage, really. I mean, that was fun because you guys did basically every hour an update, and some of them were more unique than others. And
it was a direct proportion to how tired we were.
Yeah. And
I
then
found it entertaining.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I just kept checking it.
they were good.
From
I
your
was
company bed,
amused.
I'm sure.
And there was a
Yes,
few
that's
dance
actually
parties
right.
thrown in that disappeared as we got more tired also.
The what? Oh,
The dance parties?
Yeah.
We really need
We
to
had a lot of ideas.
we need to try that
Yeah.
again sometime.
Yeah.
But that led into 24 hours of all of us hanging out and dying
Now-
in the park.
I think when we get into that, we got to start with you because this was your first 24-hour day, if I'm not mistaken.
Kind of. Yes.
Where you were there all 20. Well,
Yeah.
in this set.
This
It's
was
like when
so
Dr.
much.
Dorito
And
was
I
there,
think
yeah.
this is funny because you said it was a harder 24 hours for
Yeah.
you this year. This one was so much easier for me this year.
Well, you spent
like-
most of it sitting on a curb.
Well, no, even yeah, but way better than sitting behind a desk.
Yes.
Like last year's was so much harder. Just sitting there for, I think were we on the air for 30 hours?
Yeah, 30
Yeah.
or 32.
32 hours
Awesome.
sitting behind a desk, and it was horrible.
And whenever I tell people about that one in particular, I will always tell them that you had as difficult, if not more so, a task than I did because I was able to get up and walk around and do
That was
a
the
whole
trick.
bunch of stuff.
Is like whenever you got really tired, I would just start walking again. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm back. I'm not nodding off. And
And also, you had to be there every time my connection cut out,
or you fell asleep.
or I cut out. So you
train of thought.
Just prepared
Yeah.
for it all.
so
I really
yeah.
wish we had that clip of yogurt
We
from
could
last
probably
year
do
because
that.
that was the moment of whatever. What's that say up there? I saw a tweet on the monitor. I can't read it.
I'm still a little tired. Not that bad though. Normal amount of tiredness.
Oh, okay, well that's par for the course. So you got there at 10 o'clock at night.
Yes.
When the rope dropped at 6 a.m, where were you at that moment?
At that moment, I was right about at the Penny Arcade
Okay,
on Main Street,
so
which
you did
was
pretty well.
It was if you weren't there, it was walled off so that it was just inside the sidewalks.
I felt so
Uh,
guilty walking up that sidewalk.
Yeah, but
I was
don't,
like, you
don't,
guys
because
have waited all night, and here I go.
Yeah, there were people walking up and down those sidewalks. It was very clearly that was access for the people who are either media or running the event.
Mhm.
Like, no one was like, "Hey, how come they get to go by?" That was not a thing that was going on. But it was a lot of jostling in the line. Like if anybody went out to get to the bathroom, more so than any other part of the day, everyone just filled in, and it was one of those like, okay, well, I'm not going to crowd the people in front of me. I'll stay back a little bit to keep a little bit of breathing room. Someone would move into that spot. Like there just wasn't a
You lost it
politeness.
if you left, huh?
Yeah. So, and it was weird that standing in line, we kept moving up and no one was leaving, and I couldn't figure out exactly, like physically how that happened. But
I'm hoping
did.
people weren't like eating each other in line or something.
hope
Like
so,
that'd be really bad.
it
So,
was 4 a.m. that they let us into the
Yeah,
park.
yeah.
So we stood there on Main Street for a good
For 2 hours.
before they dropped the rope.
And they had DJ Clark, who we always
Yeah.
like, warming up the crowd, and they had some characters out there and fun stuff. And then at 6 a.m. they let you go.
Mhm.
And this was the amazing part to me is I was
shocked,
standing there as you
Yeah.
guys walked by, and I was
and people walked.
yeah,
What
they
surprised me-
walked, which they were instructed. They had walking lessons before they opened
Mhm.
they literally did.
Wow.
They had walking lessons at about what 5:45.
Yeah, it was now. Remember when we dropped the rope, you're going to.
One
Walk.
foot in the other. Yeah, it
And
was.
people behind me were like, "Run! How dare you? Go try."
There was no way to.
Yeah.
There was a complete solid mass of people for a half an hour. Like
Yeah.
we have video of it that will go up at some time, but it's literally just people streaming in, no break, no like opening up of spots for a half an hour. And then after a half an hour, there was a few breaks. So we're kind of like, well, I guess that's good enough. We don't have to stand here anymore. Breakfast is waiting. And so we stopped filming at that point, but people were still pouring in there. And like, that was kind of my like, whoa, what is going on here? and we saw you guys go in, and
Which I didn't get your text that you were doing
I
on
know.
the right until I was at the Matterhorn.
but you might have made it in Dort Video. I don't know. And we
if you spot me, you win.
and we did see
Happiness.
Amanda and a couple other people that we knew as they were going in. So that was at 6 a.m. Then we went over to DCA,
I wasn't there yet.
but we
I
eventually
don't know
all
where you
ended
went.
up as a group over in California Adventure, and we watched the two new shows. One was
The,
Five and Dime,
yeah.
and then the other was
Newsboy Trolley.
the red car thing.
Red car.
Yeah.
Newsboy.
Mhm.
Newsies.
What were your thoughts on Five and Dime? Have you
You
gotten
know
to
my
see the new
thoughts.
Five
I
and
did. I
Dime?
saw it
Okay, good.
today.
So what do you guys think?
Do
You
wanna-
first.
Okay.
Ladies
since I haven't
first.
talked
Absolutely.
yet. Well, I got to see it today.
Well, you
and-
weren't awake yet.
Yeah, that is true. But I got to see 5 and 9 today at least, and if you know me, that's my favorite show basically in the park. And
Is it still your favorite?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
good.
so.
Okay.
And I've seen it so many times, so I was really excited to just see something new with it. Even though I loved the old show, it was just
Mhm.
like really exciting just to have something fresher. So I was like smiling the whole time. I was
It was
super
giddy.
excited. Yeah, I was.
Was she jumping up and down
Yes.
too?
Yes.
Clapping with
Did-
one voice.
Did
like
you ever
clapping
see?
and taking photos
And
and
little
like
squeals of
smiling.
delight.
Is that difficult to do? Is clap and take photos of
I
this?
still got
like-
it done. I was just fueled
Next
by
time, film
excitement.
her.
Yeah, we should have been standing behind the show
I want
filming
to see how that
Haley watching the
Right
show
next
for the
to
first
show.
time. Yeah.
It was
Another
exciting.
what, 2 years? 3? I don't know.
Someday.
Okay, so you like the show.
Yes, I did.
Johnny, what do you think?
It wasn't. I wasn't super happy with all the changes, but I'm
Ooh,
not-
conflict.
oh no, we have more than one opinion on the show. I as I'm reflecting more and more on it, it's not the same show that it was. But I can't outright say that I hate the show itself. I only saw that one once, and I remember there was just little twinges of just like I don't know if I agree with or if I would have made that change, but I'm not. I wouldn't shut it down. I don't know. I was telling Roger before, like it just got so silent.
So serious.
It's like before, if I saw Five and Dime, I would have probably like stopped and okay, well I'll watch this show, and I'm not sure that I would stop what I'm doing and see the show anymore. I don't know. It just kind of lost a little bit of that magic for me.
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave and walk around the block. I
We'd
don't
love to
how
know what
Haley
you think of
does.
the new Five and Dime
Tiki room under new management.
hashtag
Is
Geeks
it?
Corner.
Oh, are you saying
You think
that?
it's-
You.
Are you saying
No.
that the new
Oh,
Five? I
he-
think
I
Tyler,
love
our
new
producer,
Five.
just compared the new Five and Dime's
No,
Tiki
no,
Room
no.
under new management. So if you think
Hands
that's
off,
apt,
hands off.
yeah.
I love the new show.
And you also loved
you
Tiki
liked
Room under
Tiki
new
Room.
management?
No, you liked it. I didn't.
And I didn't like this show. So why are you making this comparison?
your opinions.
Your argument is
Just to
invalid.
Discredit.
Mikey really liked he opened our show, therefore your argument is invalid.
What's my
Yeah, what do you think of the new show,
Yeah.
Mike? You really like it? Did you watch it on the YouTube? One thing I'm going to point out that we missed is we were talking about people we haven't
We didn't
met
miss
yet. Is
anything.
Miss Bailey C. We have not met yet at Disneyland, so we got to make sure that
Haven't.
happens at some point. And we did get to meet. Well, I got to meet Ben, who's a young viewer of ours that was very excited, and we got
You
to.
met some of my friends actually.
And I met some of your friends.
Yes.
I don't.
You posted a picture. It was 2 girls and a guy. One of the girls' names was Julia.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yes,
Yeah.
and I also met a cast member in not Condor Flats, in Grizzly Peak Airfield that saw the tie and she's like, "Oh, that's the Haley the Hatter tie." I was like, "Yes, it is."
Yay!
So
I
yes,
am known.
And-
And shout out to Julia if she's watching, because I didn't know that she knew of you, but I
you
don't know.
never know.
Enough to like recognize and go for a picture. She didn't even see me this past weekend, so
Well,
you're the true winner.
Some of us. Thanks.
There can be only one.
You're there for 5 days in a row. You better get something right. Yeah, I'd be curious to hear what people thought of the new Five and Dime. I had elements that I liked and elements that I thought needed a little bit more heart, just because I missed I think it was really the connection, the Disney connection that the old show had, that the new show has more of highlights of individual talent. And I think we were talking about this a little bit where, you get your moment with pretty much each person gets a moment to shine. And that's fun. But I did miss the whole like camaraderie, we're all in this together to do that. And I felt like that part of it was lost a little bit. But you know what? Things are always changing. So, who knows what will come next.
because you know what I've noticed almost universally, that the villain story is always, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. And the hero story is, if we want this done right, we have to do it together. You ever
Oh,
notice that?
interesting.
Ooh.
I don't know how that fits into that show, but I like that.
Because they're doing their individual
Everyone's a
thing. They need to
villain.
have that together story.
So who's the villain?
There is none. I'm just
Oh,
saying, if
okay.
they're trying to tell a hero story. They have
So,
to tell
Red-
when we combine.
Red Car Trolley. What'd you guys think of that?
Haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it? Have you seen the video or anything?
No.
But you know what happens, right?
Minnie's there.
Minnie is there. Okay, so we can still talk about it
Hashtag
without
mini lives.
Minnie lives. It's all connected.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do for a whole summer without Agents of Shield? Anyway,
Sleep.
your thoughts, because we have different thoughts on Red Car Trolley Newsboys.
Do we?
I think so.
I
Guess
remembered
we'll
us
find out.
kind
You,
of.
you say. I think we had similar,
You
but
just
different.
want me to say it first, so
Yeah,
I
I
have the
do.
brunt of everything that's coming.
Absolutely.
I do not like the new song at all.
See, and I liked it.
I really don't like that new song, and I have lists of reasons. I like that Minnie is there, but that particular song doesn't do what it's trying to do.
Johnny Five's a Sith.
Johnny Five cares about how the story is told. Do you want me to go into the list? Do you want me to just
Go for it. We'll see what people think.
It'll just be this. Also,
Quick list though, because
Yeah, quick
it's
list.
already
Okay,
45 after.
really?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm not wearing a watch. First of all, it's kind of redundant with the song that follows beforehand. Second of all, the characters' emotions are
The
completely.
song that follows beforehand.
Yeah, the song that
Okay,
the song
go
that
ahead.
follows before the first
Yes.
one happened. Yes, the previous song. So it goes from all you need
I
is a
almost
little
spit my
drive
coffee,
to make your
but keep
dream
going.
come alive, and then it goes into if you dream it, you can do it. The message of the song is almost identical, but all of the newsboys suddenly go from being 100% supportive to being 100% critical.
That is true. That was
So,
kind of weird.
The characters' emotions flip-flop. The story of the song is redundant. So in one case, it doesn't need to be there at all because it was already said.
But Mickey gets a girlfriend.
Mickey sees the girl that he would like to become his girlfriend
Yeah, same
eventually,
difference.
and then she pieces out into the crowd, and he gets on a trolley. So Mickey goes further from one of his goals while he chases after the other one. So it's just a very awkwardly made song, and I really felt.
But here's
weird
a
seeing
case,
all
I
the
think, where
newsboys saying,
Disney
"You're
magic
stupid for thinking."
Overcomes flaws, right?
It didn't overcome it
For you, but
for
you're
me.
you're the theater geek.
I am
Like
and
that's your thing. But I think for
Yes.
everybody else in the room or in the area, if you listen to the cheers and you felt the energy there, they all got it at a heart level and not at the intellectual level that you were looking at it. And that's
while-
what Disney does the best.
Yeah, while all of that intellectual stuff was going on, the song still made me cry. So I will admit. To
Yeah. And so that's where I think, yes, it probably could have been written a little bit more, whatever word you would use. Congratulations, Haley.
Thank you.
We actually had a tweet earlier about the dog, but that's Tiana. And but no, I think it probably could have been written a little bit more stronger. I don't know, but I think they did the job of connecting with the heart, and that's really what Disney did. And really, I want more of that in Five and Dime.
Yeah.
I want that schmaltz. I want that like Disney magic.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Sure. I don't
You
know.
have to put more in the.
I was actually quoting White Christmas, but it happens. I'm sorry. So moving on throughout the day, the next one on our agenda was Paint the Night, right?
Yeah.
Paint the Night, your thoughts.
I've-
You've both seen it, so whoever goes first. Ladies first.
Oh, again, I loved it. I did like that a lot too.
Just wait to hear what Johnny says.
Oh boy.
No, I enjoyed it. I'm sad because I'm never going to be able to take good pictures of it, probably because I can't.
I
It's
think
all
you
backlit.
can.
Huh?
I have confidence in you.
Oh, well, thank
All
you.
you need is a
So-
little drive.
I actually thought it
If I
was
can
bright
do it,
enough.
I can do it.
I thought it was really great for taking pictures of because it really is bright and especially at certain parts along the parade route, there's enough reflection back off buildings and whatever that if you're in the right place, you can get some really great pictures.
Well, I'm excited then.
And you're going to get some. I just know it. And then your Instagram is going to explode even more. Yes, I did a 1-finger point. Johnny, your turn.
I also really loved it.
Okay, I was gonna get really hurt again if it was.
no.
just
This one,
Crushing
and I was
her
talking
dreams.
This with a lot of people. I remember when Light Magic came out and they were marketing it as the new electrical parade, and it completely failed to meet that bar even close.
Mhm.
And this one directly opened up with almost the identical opening from the electrical parade, but modernized.
Yeah.
So it was very much, here's the electrical parade with a modern spin. And that sets up the same expectation, and I felt like it met it a lot better. And I am very satisfied with this being our generation's answer to the electrical parade. It's not a replacement, but it's like the next.
Yeah, it's something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's if they had built the electrical parade from scratch with the technology we have
Today.
today.
And the technology is amazing.
Yeah, and it works out really well. There's a lot of cool effects and a lot of neat tricks that I had known of before, but I hadn't seen implemented quite in that way.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
like,
and
I had
it's,
jaw on the floor.
as you
kind of
say
like,
that, it's incredibly
glee.
versatile too.
Oh yeah.
Because what we saw today, they could go back in 6 months or a year and reprogram stuff and, you know, whatever. Who knows?
Build a new float, which I'm sure they would love to do. It would be easy. They could absolutely pull it off.
Well, they
It'd
could
be a
even
ton of
just
work.
change the way the lights are working and,
Yeah.
and create a complete, you know, even that opening float, you know, say it's Christmas time, they could add Christmas
true,
stuff in.
yeah.
Like, it really wouldn't be that hard, I don't think.
Santa floating instead of.
Sure, why not?
There were a lot of
Rudolph?
moments.
Yes.
It was a very magical parade in the
Yeah,
purest
pay enough
sense.
money to let you do anything.
I was just looking at a lot of the things they were doing, wondering how they did it.
Yeah.
I know what has to happen. Like the fact that, you know, 6 people all walking independently of each other had like
Yeah.
timed lighting things that were happening.
You know, one of the
simultaneously
things that
all-
really got me, and
What?
this is kind of dumb, Mac the truck
Mhm.
going around town square.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
was
that thing's
pretty darn
that
big.
thing's big, and it,
Yeah.
like, it was a little bit frightening. Like,
He's 52 feet long.
I know.
And Town Square is just about 52 feet long.
Yeah, it was huge, and it made it, and it looked awesome, and I
And we were sitting on the curb with our toesies in the street, and we
So-
didn't get run over. So
yeah.
I don't know
So
if someone else.
here's
did, but
my
we didn't.
question: has anybody figured out what that thing at the back of Mickey's float is? That's like going around that kind of reminds me of Galaxy Quest.
It's
Awesome.
abstract.
Yeah.
It's
Is that really what it is? Because that's what I've been saying it is. Because I don't get it. But then I was
actually
like,
can't
maybe it's-
visualize what you're talking about. I
It's
need to go
it's
back
like
and watch
this
it again.
twisty thing that's going around, and
Yeah,
somebody said there was
oh,
a diamond in the
Yeah.
middle, but I didn't
It
see the
keeps
diamond.
going and it just, it,
Is there a
it-
diamond in the middle?
It doesn't intertwine.
No, it just
but
keeps
just
twisting.
And it makes different shapes.
It's
There
confusing.
is a word for it, and I cannot think of what that word is, but I can send you a video later of more examples of that. They've made these wind sculptures that have these pieces that are shaped weird and they're intertwined, and it does the same thing as the wind blows through it. They kind
Oh
of
yeah, I know what you're
mesh.
talking about.
It's one of those, but with lights on it. And because of the lights, you don't see the.
So what's it
structure of
supposed to be?
It's what's any of it supposed to be? It's lights. it's
Might be pixie
it's
dust.
painting the night.
You think it's
sir.
pixie dust?
Well, the story of the parade is Mickey harnessed Tinkerbell's pixie dust, and that's why Tinkerbell's in the front.
got that.
Ah.
I didn't get that.
Had
It was
in the
pretty.
sister.
Okay, so it might be pixie dust.
Okay.
So that's the spinning pixie dust from the Tinkerbell movies? Because that actually makes more sense than anything else I've heard.
Huh.
I don't know, but let us
I
know
know.
if you think.
I don't know if you should,
Letting It Go 80 says, I thought Paint the Night was amazing. It even made me cry at one point because I was so excited. What point did it make you cry? I want to know. In Florida, Mikey Likey says, the most exciting thing that happened here was the fast-moving line at Starbucks. Congratulations. At 6:30, I can report that the Starbucks line was going all the way down Main Street around Showcase.
Yeah. It was the longest I've seen
Yeah.
any Starbucks
Out the
line.
Market House door and all the way down. It was
Same at 11 o'clock when I got there.
at night or in the morning. Yeah, it was there all morning. And then over on Buena Vista side of things, it was going all the way out and around. What's the candy store called? I'm totally spacing. Trolley Treats. I always mess that one up, and it's train themed. You'd think I'd get that one,
Good
but
thing I'm always here.
but it was going out the front door towards the circle, and then just around the circle. You know, the curb there, all the way to Trolley Treats. At what was that? Was that around 11:30, 12 o'clock at night? It's whenever we met by the fountain in the middle of the night.
I do not know. All
There's
I
a
know is
big
the
blur
lines
by
at
then.
Starbucks were so long, I did not go to Starbucks at all until we went back to Disneyland
Yeah,
at 3.
yeah, and then there was no line. It was
Yeah,
great.
that was great.
And then I took my Starbucks picture. It was great.
I remember that.
Disneyland Forever.
Disneyland Forever was cool. That was right after Paint the Night. So
Yes,
we just
it
kind
was.
of crammed into
We
whatever
almost
spot we could
died.
get. Yeah. So I had an awesome spot.
People were just like,
Yeah.
literally
ended up-
running down the street trying to get into a spot.
where we ended up, where I ended up with Jason.
I was gonna
Austin
say, I don't
is-
actually know where you ended.
barely off to the left. So I could see all of Main Street. I could see the fireworks. Could not see the castle because of the tree, and could not see the Matterhorn because of Main Street. But I could see all the effects all the way down the right side of Main Street. So I could see that all in one view, and it was pretty awesome. I loved the projections on the side of Main Street. I can't wait to get a closer spot to see what they're doing on the castle and the Matterhorn.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Yeah, but
in
the
the near
fireworks
future.
also made me cry.
Excellent.
Can I give a spoiler alert?
Sure.
For an opening line that made me cry.
Sure.
There was a moment where they said, "This all used to be orange trees, and Walt Disney stood where you are standing
Yeah.
and saw Disneyland." And like I'm getting goosebumps now. Like that moment was really powerful. Of like you can accomplish your dreams because someone stood right there and accomplished his, and you're looking at it.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
I liked the crowd reaction for Lion King also.
Definitely.
Like that was a
Love
really
The Lion King.
yeah, everybody's loving that part. And it's kind of funny because I feel for a few years in the 90s there was Lion King everywhere. Like Lion
Frozen.
King was Frozen. Yeah. And then it kind of disappeared for the last decade or so, where you might find some plush here and there and in a few things of merchandise, am I right? And then suddenly like it's front and center, it's the full thing, it's the iconic opener, and the crowd just went crazy. I thought it was great. What do you think of Disneyland Forever?
I liked it a lot too because I just end up liking everything. Same thing for the Orange Grove. As soon as those projections came up, I was like, it's gonna get realer. And I was kind of sad that it didn't get more nostalgic after that point. Just because the rest of it.
It was
Wow.
interesting that was like the Disneyland moment, and then they kind of went on to Disney movies.
Yeah.
And
So
that one I didn't quite understand. Did you understand that? Either
Not
of
at
you?
all, no.
No. Do you understand how
I have theories.
you have to? We'll talk about those. Maybe we'll talk about them on DAPs cast, and we can go
Coulson
more
in
in
it?
depth there. We have more time.
it was still cool and pretty after that.
Oh, it was gorgeous. It's a great fireworks show. It
Yeah.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I have really no complaints other than I just didn't quite get why it was Disneyland Forever when it was really Walt Disney Forever. I think that's what I would have named
Someone
the show.
posted that they Remember Dreams Come True and they like Disneyland Forever, but feel like their name should have been swapped at this point.
Yeah, I could see that.
There you go.
I could totally see that. Yeah,
You're
they're
smart,
both great
whoever
shows. Last of all, and this one's going to be controversial too, I'm sure, is World of Color Celebrate. Go ahead, Mr. Seth.
I think we're out of time for this episode. I think you should give your opinion.
Oh
and
no,
then we'll
I'm,
just
I'm
leave.
watching the time.
No,
did
it's
you
fine.
did you
You
get to
talk
see
I
it?
haven't seen it.
She
so
hasn't
it's
seen
really
it, so
all
it's all you
on
and me.
You first.
I loved it. And that's the problem is
Yeah.
is I was completely entertained by it. And yes, it had Frozen in it, but I kind of just take it Frozen's going to be everywhere because it's in everything. And in a few years, we'll never see it again. And it'll be like The Lion King or Winnie the Pooh or whatever. But no, I really like the new effects. There was one in particular that the show ends with that has you looking up for the next 5 minutes. And I thought that was amazing. The ones that were closer, I thought were also amazing. And they were really fun. The second time I watched the show with people who hadn't seen it before, and we happened to be closer to said effect, and they jumped a mile. And
It was also 3 a.m.
also
and
you,
those effects hadn't come into play until
it was
Frozen.
so fun.
For those of you who are not a fan of Frozen, but travel with people who are a fan of Frozen and just have that glassy eye look every time, bring them to this show
Yeah.
and watch their reactions during the Frozen parts.
Yeah, I liked the whole thing though. Like, I mean, it worked out. It made sense to me. I could follow along chronologically. The last third was my favorite, just because I liked when they were doing that forward-looking stuff. I don't want to give away too many spoilers because that seems to be the one people haven't seen yet. But I really liked the forward-looking stuff, and clearly, I think Star Wars Celebration had some sway on how this show ended up. And I don't know. I thought it was fun. It wasn't too heavy. It wasn't too light. It moved along fairly quickly, and I wasn't bored. Now, go ahead and thrash it.
I was bored. It didn't connect with me on any level. I think
Yeah, I
because
know.
it wasn't too heavy, it wasn't too light. It wasn't a show for me. And I think that's the most I can say for it. I'm not going to say it was a bad show, but it did feel more like a History Channel documentary. And it might have just been because I was watching it at
It
3
really
a.m. after I'd
reminded
been up
me
for
of
45 hours.
the Steve Martin Donald Duck thing.
Yes, that's the most apt.
But I liked this way better than I liked the Steve Martin Donald Duck because that one was more.
Because I
That's
like
okay.
Steve Martin.
I really like
And I
Steve
like
Martin
Neil Patrick
too,
Harris, too.
and I'd be curious if I saw that on something like this, if I would like that better too. But no, I just liked, I don't know, I thought it was a family friendly thing that moved along fairly quickly. And I just thought it was a huge step up from, you know, what we've seen in the past where I just can't follow. I'm like, I don't get it. And I like all of these scenes, but there's no, like, I just don't get it. And this I got. And I think that was half the reason I enjoyed it so much. And
I'm kind of.
and I like Mickey back. Like, we don't get enough Mickey.
Yeah.
And so when they put Mickey and stuff, I like it.
It's,
Almost as much as Kermit the Frog. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think the other thing is that by that point in the night, we had just seen Paint the Night. We had just seen
That's true.
the fireworks.
They're hard acts to follow.
Yeah, because both of them kind of, they do something new with the technology, like the projections all the way down Main Street. We've seen that before, not quite
Not
to
like that,
extent.
though. Yeah.
The Paint the Night stuff, they really took leaps and bounds. There are some new effects in World
But
of
it wasn't
Color, but they're
revolutionary.
by no means something we hadn't seen before.
I agree with that.
I mean, the close effects, yeah, I hadn't seen that, but they weren't like, oh, I can't believe they just did that. It's just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. What just happened? Oh, it happened again.
Well, and I think it helped, too, that I saw World of Color first.
Maybe.
Then Paint the Night, and then Disneyland Forever, which Roger did, too, right?
Right.
And did you like World of Color a whole lot more than Johnny?
I found it delightful.
Okay, that's a good word.
And everyone was asking me, how do you, did you see World of Color? What did you think of it? I said delightful. It did feel documentary-ish, but I could follow along, and just knowing parts of the things that I found out about the show afterwards made me like it a little bit more. And I'll spoil one. Mickey is hand drawn.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not computer animation.
Yeah,
I could tell actually from the look of it. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
thought it was
matches
fun.
with what I
So,
saw.
really quickly wrapping it up, Haley, you're just going to have to guess, or you can just rate 2. But rank your favorite shows 1, 2, 3 from the. I think I know what yours is,
Oh.
but actually, let's do all the way to 5. Include, because I can do this as I'm thinking in my head.
Include
The 3 night shows and the 2 day shows that are modified, new, whatever.
Wait, what are we considering?
Red Car Trolley,
Oh, yes,
5 and
okay.
Dime, and the 3 we just talked about.
That makes sense.
All the ones we included tonight.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And let us know what your rankings are too at home.
Top to bottom or bottom to top?
Number one's your favorite.
One's
Well, I
favorite.
know, but in
Go
order.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I would probably say, tie for third. You first. Go.
No, go ahead.
Oh, it's all,
You can go bottom to or top to bottom if you prefer.
No, it's gonna be the same.
Haley, what was your favorite?
I think like Paint the Night and 5 and 9 will be like somewhat.
Okay, so those are your 1 and 2. What's 3?
Yes. Fireworks.
4.
Probably World of Color and then Newsboys.
Okay.
Because I World of Color just isn't my favorite in general, so I don't know how it'll rank. If this will be better than normal.
And that's
then,
what surprised
it
me is I
doesn't.
really wasn't a huge fan of World of Color before.
Okay.
I think the only times I'd seen it were precedents.
All right. Then we'll see.
All right, Johnny, you're up.
All right, so I would probably say, going 5. So World of Color, 5 and Dime,
4.
Newsboys,
3.
Disneyland Forever,
2.
and Paint the Night.
Very good.
That's how I would do that.
Cool. I don't actually know what I would choose.
Why do you not answer them? This is infuriating. Someone else answer for him.
Stop with your answer.
No, actually, I think I don't know. I'd probably go from top to bottom. Paint the Night, Disneyland Forever, and World of Color tied for number 2, as I've seen them a couple times. And then I'd definitely go right after that Red Card Newsboys, and then 5 and Dime's my bottom. Sorry.
See, you
I did it. Anyway, we are way over on time for this week. Thanks for watching. Next week we will have something completely new and different. No more
Really?
Disneyland. You never know.
No more Disneyland?
No more Disneyland 60th
Oh,
anniversary for this week. But anyway, we will see you around the corner.
Geek out.
Bye.